You're welcome to it's a workshop of the FertiCovery project. What we do, I will give an introduction of the FertiCovery project in a minute, and after that we will look at our process within the project, how we mapped from hundreds of technologies to 25 selected case studies, which are now studied in detail, and then we will go to the core of our meeting workshop. That's to go into the technical and environmental assessment indicators that are relevant for nutrient recycling technologies. So we'll check which we have in mind, and we would love to hear your comments and also your ideas about how important certain indicators are, and which is also be possible to in our interactive session. We have a Mentimeter session in which you can indicate the relevance and also suggest more indicators we should go for. After that, we will have a Q&A session, and we like to hear about indicators, but also maybe your experiences about performance and what is important to look at. And after that, we have a wrap-up and next steps from Cartif, who is actually the main content provider of this workshop, as they are responsible for the technical environmental assessment of the 25 technologies. We have some housekeeping rules. As you may have noticed, your microphone is muted, and you are not able to unmute it, but if you raise your hand to speak, then we can, the organizers will unmute you and you will be able to speak up. So that's good. And also, of course, during the meeting, it's possible to use the chat and ask questions all the time. And we will go into them in more detail in the Q&A session. You'll ask consortium members of us to answer your questions. Also important to notice that our session is recorded and will be shared on YouTube afterwards. So if you turn on your camera, you consent also to being recorded and published on YouTube. It's a way to book. I don't know if you will become very famous this way, but it's good that you are aware. And but we like to give you the possibilities to show you to yourself in the camera, because that makes the whole thing a little bit more lively. So it is a webinar, but we try to make it really interactive this way by these housekeeping rules. Well, if I didn't forget anything, we go to the next slide. Well, we are very happy that you are here and participate. We hope it gives opportunity to learn about technologies today, but maybe even more during the rest of the project. We will have a lot of information available in the next months about these technologies. We are happy that we have your feedback also on evaluation on the methods that we use in this project. It's a way to connect with experts in the field, and we are also very happy for your feedback shaping our case studies. And this is one of the opportunities. We'll have 6 workshops in total, and this is the second one actually. Well, now we will start with an update of the FertiCovery project. What is the project about? It's a Horizon Europe project. It's running already 1 year, from January 2025 until December 27. It's coordinated by Biomass Technology Group. I'm from Biomass Technology Group in Netherlands, and we are in total with 8 partners in 7 countries. We have the European Biogas Association, the European Compost Network. They have, of course, good networks and also good in the legislative aspects. We have Cartif and from Spain and National University of Athens, Technical University of Athens. They are more the technical partners. We have Agrinova, Unito, University of Torino, and PWR from Poland. They are more the agronomical partners. And together we have a consortium with quite some expertise in this field. The general aim is to remove barriers and promote nutrient recovery and bio-based fertilizers from secondary raw materials. And main examples are probably bio-waste, manure and wastewater, but we can look broader. The project has the following main steps. We started with a long list of case studies. We collected a lot of information about existing installations that are already on the market or have already quite a high TRL. We focus a little bit on the projects, on technologies that are already in the marketplace, because our focus is on best available technologies. And of course, we are also interested to hear about technologies that are upcoming and very promising. We will analyze these 25 technologies in detail, the feedstocks, value chains, products and application, and hope to learn from them. And also, in the end, summarize our findings with a multi-criteria decision analysis report showing really the strong and the weak points of these technologies, the state of play, and showcasing also the 10 or 15 aggregated most effective technologies, which will then also be presented in a way like a best available technology is presented in a best available technology reference document. So this is a nice final product that also gives insight for policymakers, what are really the technologies that are really developed and can be used. And we do this with an active engagement of stakeholders. We have 5 workshops and 6 open forum events. This is the second workshop. And the workshops are online, and the open forum events are also physical. So, for instance, in June we will have an event in Kos together with the big waste management conference that is organized over there. I'll come back to that. So we analyze the 25 case studies. We look at the feedstocks that are needed. Are they available enough? Value chain assessment. How's the value chain looking? And what are the technical parameters? The subject of today. We look at the products and also what is the market potential? What is the potential for scale up? What are, of course, the capex, opex? What are the barriers also here? What are social risks? What is acceptability, social acceptability? We'll have a good look at that, and then we synthesize the findings. We have approached these 25 technologies, asking to reply with a questionnaire. We ask a lot of questions about the technologies, but also we ask for a sample of 1 kilo, and we will have PWR Uniter will do germination tests, leaching analysis, and pot tests, which will start actually next month in March, to compare all the fertilizers from very many different technologies in one go. So this is also quite a unique opportunity to see what are the results of that. We have an open forum of stakeholders, which you can join on LinkedIn, very easily accessible. And here you can find a lot of information about projects, also about other projects and what's going on. So feel free to join. It can also be done with this QR code. It will maybe return one more time later. And of course, you can always find everything also on our website, also how to join the events. Well, this workshop and events, we are now in workshop number 2, the technology state of play. We will have a next, about 1.5 months later, 2 months, a workshop on market replication potential. We will look at market opportunities and replication strategies, and also legal issues will be there, policy barriers, FPR, all that kind of important things for the further development of these technologies. We will have later a workshop on the fertilizing products, the impact and use. Part of the tests will be ready by then. A workshop on the synthesis of results, and we'll have a final event. So this is the next one. You can already register, organized by the European Biogas Association. And we have, not to forget, we have a sister project, FertiTech. They have the same aim, and we collaborate very well with each other. And we exchange and we learn from each other. And so, yeah, possibly you can also encounter that project, and also feel free to join them. They will maybe later in the Q&A session, we will ask them also to say a little bit about them and also their experiences with the technology assessment we are now in. So thank you for listening to this general introduction. And now it's time to go into the details, and with a presentation from Francisco Verdurgo from Cartif. So please go ahead. You're still muted, Francisco.
Okay, thank you so much for attending this meeting, and I hope that this will be fruitful for all of us. And now let me share my screen. Yes. Can you see it in a presentation mode? Yeah, okay. Thank you. So, well, this part of the presentation, it's going to present the process that we follow in order to get this short list of the technologies, and then will be present the classification of this short list, and finally we are going to explain the environmental and technical assessment indicator that we select and identify in order to apply them in the multi-criteria decision analysis. So what the first part of this workshop is explain what we ask from you. Your input are very valuable in order to this process of evaluation the technologies that we define. So we need you to validate the proposed assessment of indicators, identify the possible gaps that we have, and capture, of course, your priorities. So, and we will use this information in order to refine the framework of this assessment, rate the importance of each indicator that we choose, and defines the relative weights of each category in the final step in our multi-criteria decision analysis. All of them try to get and strengthen the multi-criteria decision analysis framework. So well, and as I commented before, this process from mapping to prioritization of the technologies that we found it's a multi-step process that it starts with the development of the long list that covers over 150 technologies that were identified. Then, in order to get this the scoring of this these technologies, we structure these long lists in seven different categories: biological, chemical, physical, and others, in accordance with the kind of technology. And these categories with substructure in different subcategories. Then, or parallelly, we define the indicators that in order to score this technology in a preliminary score, in order to filter this technology and reduce the number for next steps. So the indicators that we define are related with the feedstock, the availability of feedstock supply, the maturity, availability, cost of the technology, the regulatory and market framework, and the implementation potential. The efficiency of applicability of the bio-based fertilization, and others like regulation, the contribution with the European strategic objectives, or the value chains distribution across the European Union. So we try to cover different spheres of the technical issues, market, regulatory, and logistic issues in order to score these technologies. Then this score was done by FertiCovery expert, and each technology which score considering these indicators. And in order to get a fair assessment, at least two experts scored each technology, and we applied a discrepancy criteria in order to avoid extreme score for both sides, lower and upper scores. Then, with these preliminary scores, we perform a statistical process in order to ensure, considering the whole score of these 150, more than 150 technologies, and normalize this score in five categories, like from 2 to -2. That means that the high performance technologies were scored with 2 points, and the lower priority with -2 score. So then, after this normalization of the technologies, we got the preliminary shortlist, and that it include this include the high performance technologies and good performance technologies. That means the technologies that obtain a normalization in the 5-point scale scored by 2 and by 1. So considering this preliminary shortlist, thankfully for the attendees in the previous workshop that we did a few months ago, we received and analyzed the inputs from the stakeholders and refine this preliminary shortlist, and rank these contributions was very useful in order to rank this final shortlist of the technologies. And we got this the final 25 best technology, and that will be used, or will be assessed in the next step, that is the multi-criteria decision analysis. So considering this how did we get here? the next step of this presentation is present the final 25 technologies, and we group it in different groups of technologies. As you can see, the anaerobic digestion and composting is are the most representative kind of technologies that we identify. The first of with 28% of the technologies are related to anaerobic digestion, followed by the 20% composting technologies. Then the others technologies that has been identified and are included in this 25 group have hydrolysis, stripping, and pyrolysis. That all of them with 3 or 2 technologies, and finally crystallization, plasma-based technology, and evaporation. All of them include involves the 25 technologies that it's going to be assessed in the next steps. So how we are going to assess these technologies? We are going to carry out a multi-criteria decision analysis considering different aspects and different characteristics of each technology that and we are going to explain this one. The first one group of criteria that we are going to consider is the technical assessment indicators and the environmental assessment indicators. That this group is the core of this workshop that we are going to present, and we need your feedback in order to wait and catch your perception about these indicators. Other criteria that we are going to consider is the fertilizer behavior. It involves the effects to soil, to water, to air quality, biodiversity, and climate. So that's we are going to obtain this data due to the pod trials that our colleagues from Poland is going to do in the following tasks of the project. And then we are use the technical the studies that we carry out in other work packages of this project that involves the technical availability of feedstock supply, the market and regulation framework that involve the legislation, certification or standardization schemes, and the cost and maintenance of the installation. So the CAPEX and OPEX of these technologies. All these, as I commented before, all these criteria will obtain in the framework of this project during the work packages, the tasks that are involved. Work package 3, 4, and 5 on this FertiCovery project. So and that's also we know the criteria that we are going to use. It's time to present the technical assessment indicators that we define. There are 7 technical assessment indicators that more or less we can group, and the aim of these indicators has been to try to assess and consider in the assessment 3 main groups: the performance and the efficiency of these technologies, that means how well the technology works, or that is recover nutrients efficiently, and or the quality of the output. The other group is the try to assess the scale and the robustness of the technologies. So that are related with the amount of the feedstock that can treat, or how stable is the input and the output of the technology, and finally the practical implementation. How easy or tricky is to implement and operate these technologies. So considering these technical assessment indicators, try to assess the operation of this the technical quality of each technology. And regarding the environmental assessment indicators, we base our selection in several literature and several sources. We identified in the International EPD system different product environmental product declaration related with the bio-based fertilizers. That means, for instance, the fertilizers EPD, biostimulants, or biochar. That in these documents shows the environmental profile of this kind of products. Other sources that we consult in order to get the information for this environmental assessment indicator had been another European projects, like these 7 projects were consulted in order to get information about about the impact categories that they identify, they assess through LCA methodology. And then finally, these other scientific papers, we consult scientific papers, and we base this selection of these sources based on a review that has been done recently, and there were consulted more 125 papers. Well, a very complete review that we show these great findings in this kind of literature. So consider these 3 sources. We identify, or we choose 5 environmental technical assessment indicators. The first of all, I think that we know all of them, but I try to explain it easily. The first of all, the first environmental assessment indicator is a global warming potential. That this indicator reflects measures the impact on the global temperature increase, so due to the greenhouse gas emissions. The second environmental impact assessment indicator is eutrophication in both freshwater and marine water. So that is the environmental impact that happens when the excess of nutrients like nitrogen or phosphorus enter in the water bodies, and causes the excessive algae growth, reducing oxygen levels, and harming the aquatic ecosystems. The third of these indicators is acidification, that refers to the emissions to make soils and water bodies more acidic and can damage the ecosystems. The fourth environmental assessment indicators is the resource uses, both fossil and mineral metals. So these indicators measure how much a process relies on non-renewable resources such as fossil fuels and mineral and metals. So how the extraction of these resources affects to the environment. And finally, the water use has been considered in order to reflect the amount of water consumed and his potential impact on water scarcity when during the manufacture process. So all these environmental assessment indicators are related with the technologies, not with the products. So this concept we have to consider, and because the effects of the products in the environment will be assessed during the World Package 4 when our colleagues assess perform the pod trials within the FertiCovery framework. So that reflects these environmental assessment indicators is try to assess the technologies, are focused in for assessing the technologies. Okay, so well, right now that is all from my side. I hope that I explained the process and the indicators and well. Remember that right now in the next session, in the interactive session, we need your perspective, your inputs in order to carry out the multi-criteria decision analysis or and redefine the framework and so on. And remember that no right or wrong question, the answer all matter. So all the questions are welcome. So thank you so much, and well, we can move forward for the interactive session.
Thank you, Francisco, for this overview of the state of play, and thank you, Martin, for the overview of the project. I will now share the Mentimeter screen. So this is the core part for us, where we invite you to be active, and we really count on the contributions that will really help us in moving forward in our project. So here is the Mentimeter. You can now scan the code or go to the mentimeter.com and put the code that you can see on the screen right now. So we will wait a few seconds for you to get inside. And we will be talking further about the environmental and technical assessment indicators as Francisco presented before. Okay, we have 30 people, maybe just a few more seconds. Good. So we have the first question. We will look first at the environmental assessment indicator. Here we have named 5 that were presented by Francisco. So in your opinion, how important are the following environmental impacts? So we are ranging here from the least important to the most important, and we're looking at how important is the impact on the global warming potential, eutrophication for the freshwater and marine, acidification of soil, the resource use for fossil and minerals and metals, and the water use impact. So you can range here from 0 to 5, and we can see the scale. It's moving, it's quite equal actually, but we see that the most, the bigger impact will be on the global warming potential and the freshwater and marine. Francisco.
Yes, that's a comment that this score will be used in order to weigh these indicators. So will be very useful your contribution. So thank you so much for for participating.
Yes, so we see, yeah, we give you a few more seconds, but I think it's pretty clear now that, of course, all of these are pretty important. And the most important is the global warming and eutrophication, freshwater and marine, and then water use. Good, so I think we can move to the next one. So following further on the environmental assessment indicators, in addition to the listed indicators, do you think anything else should be included that we should look at in the project that we should really take into consideration? This is an open question, so you can also suggest anything that maybe we haven't looked at yet, or any concrete steps forward. So we have a suggestion to look at the energy consumption and biodiversity. Emissions. The land use, the nutrient recycling potential, again, energy coming quite a lot here. Waste management, the replacement of the virgin material use, CapEx and OpEx, yeah. Okay, see how it looks grouped. So the most important that we should look at is the energy consumption, and so on. The nutrient recycling, biodiversity, and emissions. And Stere, please, go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's nice to say that indeed, for example, the CapEx and the OpEx we'll look into also in the next workshop, we'll talk about that. So that's not part of, let's say, this environmental assessment, but it is definitely part of the project. And I think also some other things here mentioned we'll definitely do later on. So I just wanted to say that.
Also for you to know that we will continue talking about these things as we go further, and it will be included in the next activities. So keep an eye out. Okay, I think we can move to the next one then. So here we have the technical assessment indicators. So with your expertise looking at these that Francisco already presented. And here we have these different groups of indicators ranging from the performance, the scale, and into the practical implementation, how this is important in your opinion. And here you can do the same. You put it on the scale from the least important to the most important. Okay, good. So we see that the first two are probably the most important for you. And here we will also have an open question where you can suggest more. And but here is the selection that we are looking at the moment. Okay, so NNP recovery and technology operation performance being the most important for now. And the rest is somewhere in the middle, let's say, but also important, yeah. Yeah, so we have the yield and productivity and treatment capacity as well. Okay. Good, I think we can slowly move to the next one. So in addition to those, do you think anything we should look at additionally? Maybe it will be covered as well in the future, but please feel free to suggest anything that should be included here. Yeah, so we have for now the storage capacity and chemical consumption as suggestions. The sustainability, scalability, land use, and the quality of products, and the replication potential, yeah. Yes, here you have a lot of similar suggestions, but I think they're also falling under different categories. So I will just see how. Yeah, so here it's more referring to the products of the assessment. And then we have technical resources and the scalability and maintenance as well. Good. And I think here we have a question which might answer some of your suggestions as well, because here are indicators that we are looking at in general in a broader picture, and you can also indicate on a scale how important you think it is, like in general. So here you also have the OPEX, CAPEX. We have the two different assessment indicators that we talked about. We have the legislation and certification schemes, the fertilizer behavior, so the effect on soil, water, air quality, biodiversity, and climate. And we have the technical availability of feedstock supply. So looking at this all together, how do you think it is important to take this into consideration? Okay, pretty important, all of them. And it gets quite close. So maybe we give a second to see if there's something you think is the most important actually from the list. Okay, so far it is the fertilizer behavior, so the effect on soil, water, air, and climate. And the legislation and certification, yes. Just to say that in the next webinar, we'll be also looking at it from more the policy side, from the regulatory side. So this is also something we will pick up. And we'll look at the market potential. So there will be also these aspects. Okay, so yeah, fertilizer behavior is the winner here. I guess for us, it's also an important information. Good. So I think this is it for the Mentimeter. Thank you so much for the input. This is really helpful for us to move forward. And now we will allow you to take the floor right in the chat. I'll just stop sharing. If you have any more suggestions, if you have questions for the presentations, for the speakers, or maybe for the partners of the consortium, you can use the chat, you can raise your hand, and we will have an exchange here. Okay, so we have first question from Alfred Gas. Please go ahead. You can unmute yourself.
Yes, good morning, and thanks for accepting my question. So I have to apologize in advance. I'm pretty new to the whole field of play and to the industry, so therefore my question might be a little bit stupid. Did I got it wrong, or did we consider now only the anaerobic digestion? Or are we also looking into aerobic digestion of biomass?
So I think the best partner to answer to that will be Maria, please. You can unmute yourself.
Maria, you're muted.
You can click on the mic symbol on the top of the screen. Then in this case,
Yeah, otherwise I can give a brief answer.
Perfect. Now
Yes.
I'm
Oh,
muted.
okay, go ahead,
Good.
Maria, please. Yeah.
So we also see anaerobic digestion, and in some of the selected cases, we have the valorization of the waste that comes from aerobic digestion. However, as you know, most of the units we have till now is on anaerobic digestion, and then the valorization of digestate via composting or hydrolysis or other technologies. So yes, we have taken into consideration also aerobic digestion of waste.
Okay, and the assessment of those technologies, will that then be done in different sessions, or how will that actually all merge together eventually?
Francisco, go ahead.
Yes, during all the groups were assessed by FertiCovery partners in the preliminary in order to reduce this from the long list to the rank this long list, and different partners scored 2 or 3 groups. So, and these groups was scored by 2 or 3 partners. So with the same criteria and the same values, with we gather the same information for all the technologies, and try to assess each of them and consider this perspective the same data. So and that's why we filter and we rank these 150 technologies.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much.
Maria, I don't know if you have you.
No.
Okay.
You covered.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Let's go to the next question from Makbul Genser. You have 2 questions. Maybe we can unmute her. I think the organizers have to do this. And I think it's questions for Francisco Verdugo again.
Regarding the first one, is there any nutrient recovery for treated wastewater in this project? I think yes. I think that the processes from crystallization or maybe here is Maria, but I think that yes, wastewater treatment and the recovery nutrients for wastewater treatment are included in this and identifying this in this long list. So and crystallization from water treatment, I think that is one of the
Hydrolysis also.
Okay. So yes, yes. We try to cover all the feedstock too. So yes, I think. And regarding the second question, what is this project? Yes, this is a great questions because depends on these boundaries, the environmental impacts will be different. So in this case, is considering we have to assess the quality of the data that we receive, because these environmental indicators has been identified, but we do not have whole information, this information from all the technologies. So we have to study these boundaries and the stages that are included in the LCAs, and try to do this assessment in order to be fair for all the technologies. But yes, I think that is a good question. We are going to consider these matters, these issues.
Perfect. And we don't have more questions in the chat, but we do have in the audience some people that we work closely with. We have our sister project FertiTech. We have Eric and Teresa and Piotr. So we're also interested to hear what is your take on this, how you see this. If you have anything to contribute with, please go ahead.
Okay, it looks like I'm going to start. Eric Sentoy here. I'm one of the co-coordinators for FertiTech. It's been really interesting to sit and listen to this, listen to your presentations, and to the ideas, and also to get to see the input from this group here watching this. As Martin said in the beginning, FertiTech is a sister project of FertiCovery, so we actually have the same goals and objectives, and that's to develop a best available technology list of technologies to recycle nutrients from secondary streams. But that being said, we have a slightly different working methodology to get where we're going to go. So because of that, FertiCovery and FertiTech are trying to go along in parallel, so that we can see each other's work and help each other out, and so that we'll get to the end point with hopefully more effective work. I guess maybe I'll open it up to Piotr and Therese if they have anything that they would like to input that they've seen. Piotr has been leading the work from our project side in this, which FertiCovery presented with mapping the existing technologies and then scaling down to our case studies, and now we're moving into the analysis of the case studies time. But Piotr or Therese, please, if you have anything to add.
You just need to unmute yourself on the top of the screen. Yes, Piotr, go ahead.
Thank you, Eric. As you mentioned a bit earlier, we started our exploration with technologies with a small different way, but now we are at the selection stage. It is very good that we can share our experience with FertiCovery project, and of course we will have chance to share our results later at the level of the expert panel. We invite you all to take part in our expert panel, and at the end of our project we will organize a special kind of expert panel for sharing our final results of the project. I think it will be a big chance to summarize what we did in our projects.
Hello, Teresa here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Just to continue shortly, I'm still quite new to the FertiTech project, but it was very nice to meet the participants in Cartagena in Spain. So thank you very much for that coordinating meeting there. And I'm just starting up with a task 2, which is socioeconomic analysis to make interviews about 30 chosen technologies from the 188 that Piotr mentioned. So it's trying to get contact with the companies that are have time to do a short interview, and so far I have just completed 3 of those, but the goal is to complete 30 within a month or 2 here. So we are just gathering information at the moment to complete a report on the socioeconomic parts, including some questions about how market uptake has been. So it's sort of a starting up point for me, and it'll be very interesting to follow these 2 sister projects. As I understand, in FertiTech, we are not doing any multi-criteria analysis. So it'll be a different types of analysis. Yes, Eric.
Thanks. I just wanted to add on to that, Teresa, that actually we are doing an MCA of the technology, but one thing, like, we're a really wide audience here. It's really excellent to see so many people here joining this meeting. But one thing that I know that we've run into in FertiCovery, and I'm pretty sure that FertiTech and that FertiCovery is also running into, is in looking at, we have this structured with the technical performance, we have the structure with the environmental assessment, the socioeconomic assessment, and then also FertiCovery has a large focus on the product evaluation. One thing that I think we really need to be clear about is that a lot of how difficult it is to get data for each of these case evaluations. We don't have the possibility within this project to go out and experimentally get data for all of these cases. We don't have the possibility to go up and set up full-scale LCA analysis for all of it. It's too big, it's too much. So we're relying to a large degree on help and cooperation from the producers, and also from finding any type of literature that's out there. So I think I'll just put this out there to this huge public, to everyone who's here, is that if you're sitting on any type of gray reports, because I know there is a lot of gray literature out there. There's a lot of reports that might not be published in scientific literature, that may be looking at evaluations of a lot of these type of systems. That please let us know about these, because these type of gray literatures, they can be at times difficult to find, but they can hold really valuable data and resources for us to do the evaluations with. So any kind of assisting like that by sending us reports that are not published in scientific journals will really help. And I just wanted to throw that out there, because it's one of the big what do you call it, bottlenecks that we're running into with doing these evaluations.
Thank you, Eric, for underlying this message. I think it speaks for both of our projects very well. If you have any comments on the messages from FertiTech, feel free to drop them in the chat or raise your hand. In the meantime, I think we had an answer to a question from Helga. So if the nutrient recovery from land-based fish sludge considered in this project, and yes, in one of those 25 selected case studies, we have fish sludge mentioned. And we also have some questions submitted by some of you ahead of the webinar. So maybe I'll read them out, and then our partners could reply, because it could be interesting for everyone. So the first one is, to what extent the nutrient recovery methods in the FertiCovery project will be or are commercialized? I don't know who would like to pick this up. Martin, go ahead.
Yes. Well, we had, in our selection process, we had a strong emphasis on the technologies that have already been commercialized. So actually the list of the top 25, it's mainly TRL9 fully commercialized, and TRL8 maybe 1.7. Of course, there is a difference between, and some technologies will have like 25 installations running, so that's really commercialized, and others, they are a little bit more unique still, more a demo, first of a kind plant. Therefore, yeah, I liked in the Mentimeter, I saw that indicators missing. Somebody was also putting on scalability and replication potential. I think this is indeed also a relevant aspect that will be covered in a dedicated task, which will run in the coming months and will also return in the following workshop. But if the person that put up this scalability and replication potential would like to say a little more about it, of course we would be too happy to hear about it if possible.
We'll give a chance if that person would like to take the floor, or if not, it's fine. You can also maybe say something more of your idea and reasoning behind through the chat.
Yes, and otherwise we can of course go to the next question. Yeah.
Yes. So we also had another one submitted by people from Nordavind. So there is an interest to learn how controlled tunnel composting to produce organic fertilizer and improve agricultural soil health stacks up compared with other technologies for processing manure and other organic waste streams in the circular economy.
So this is maybe a question we can ask. And indeed, in this project, unique of FertiCovery and FertiTech project is that we compare very different technologies. So we look at composting technologies and we look at manure processing technologies. So in the end, yeah, they will be compared. Of course, they have different feedstocks and so on. So it's not that one is better than the other, but we see, we will have them both in the same analysis. So this is good. And maybe for the concrete question, I have to maybe somebody from ECN, our project partner ECN and EBA would like to react, or Francisco like to do it. Yes. Okay. Francisco, go ahead.
So yes, I think that in this project, in order to compare the different technologies and in this case the composting is a well-established technologies. Here in FertiCovery, we try to we are going to assess the same technical and environmental indicators and others indicators, socioeconomic indicators and so on. So in order to develop a fair comparison considering these the different feedstock technologies. So well, we are going to compare it, but considering the same parameters, the characteristic of the different technologies. So. And I think Lucille, please go ahead.
Yes. Thank you. No, I just wanted to complete also on the regulatory side for tunnel composting. Just today, it's not yet part of CM. It's not one of the processes that are accepted under CMC for compost, but it's actually part of a study run for the Commission that should be published by the end of the year or even mid 2026, and normally it will be introduced as an amendment to the fertilizing products regulation. So it should be possible to use to produce bio-based fertilizer or soil improver that will be part of the FPR.
And Olivier, you also wanted to add to this? Yes? You can try to you should be able, let me check. You should be able now.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
This works now. Yeah, just to maybe address the question regarding how we haven't conducted a specific comparison between compost and manure ourselves at ECN, but we are working on the aspect of the long-term benefits of compost application on agricultural land, on soil health over time, and this is something that I'm personally working on. And we're developing a fact sheet for that. In terms of the actual comparison, that's something that we're not specifically working on at the moment, but I guess, as Francisco said, it's maybe a part of the project. Yes, so I just wanted to briefly mention that is considered and being worked on.
Thank you for your answer. Well, I hope this is a good answer to this question. Yeah, anybody feel free to ask more questions, to comment on indicators, or maybe also if you have some experience with, let's say, what type of technical aspects you, from your personal experience, are the most important and the most challenging, then that would also be very, yeah, nice to hear about it.
Please, Francisco, go ahead. You raised your hand.
No, I was a mistake.
If we don't have input on this, I see a couple of questions from the chat that we could still pick up. We have still some time. So the first one is, was the difference in pea speciation also taken into account? And is there a sense that bioavailability is a criteria for evaluation once it has returned to the soil?
Well, this is a little bit an agronomical question, so maybe somebody from PWR could pick up.
I am not so sure that we
I saw
have.
David, I think. I'm not sure if from Unito, I'm not sure if he's there, but I thought.
So we will ask them to raise their hand if them or their colleagues are around, but I'm not sure if we have today. But we'll try to pick this up in the meantime, this question. We have more, so maybe I can move to the next ones. We have a question for Lucille. If you could provide a link to the ongoing study that you mentioned to add close-tunnel composting to the list.
Yes,
And you put it,
I've
yes, I see,
included.
yes, sorry, I just did. Okay, and then that's good. I don't think we have more. We had one more question provided ahead that is quite general, but I think it's also good to ask, to pick up on all of those. Somebody would like to know more about the animal protein feed and fertilizer. So if one of our partners would like to say something more about that.
Agnieszka, could you repeat the question?
Animal protein feed and fertilizer. I think it's a quite general scope. So I don't know if this is something we can pick up here. If anyone, if not, it's something maybe the person who wants to know more could also write us an email and maybe give a bit of a background, and we can also reply better? And otherwise, if there are any more questions, you can still raise your hand. We have a couple of minutes, and if not, I think that's where we are now.
Yes, let's wait a bit, and otherwise, yeah, and also maybe Francisco can say a few words about yeah, the Mentimeter results, if there was anything specific or and
Okay,
how
yes.
we use this. Yeah. Mm.
Yes, well, I think that the Mentimeter session has been was a high rate of participation. So, and we are going to use these results as well as we did in the previous workshop in order to weight the indicators and final the categories. So for us, it's very useful now. Your perspective, your impression about these indicators, and of course your inputs are your regarding the new or the potential technical or environmental assessment indicators that we are going to consider, or we are going to assess how we can consider it in the assessment. And well, and thank you so much for attending this meeting, and as well as Eric comment before, the collaboration and the of the stakeholders, and in order to providing us information, reports, literature, and in addition participating in this kind of workshop, or in linking FertiCovery group. There's a continuous interactive source that you can contribute, and you can join us and share your opinion. And well, and I think that in this way we need information. We can look for it, but we can receive for all the stakeholders. So I think that has been this workshop has been very fruitful for next steps of FertiCovery, and we hope that you could enjoy to the next workshop that I remind that is will be held on 13th of April, and the topic is will be the assessment of the market and replication structure. So well, I think that it's aligned with of course with the multi. We try to use this your inputs of in this next workshop in order to implement the in the multi criteria and know your perspective. So we are very grateful that you could join us. So if anybody wants to add something, please feel free.
Maybe just to say, we have put in the chat some sources for you to look at after the webinar, or right now. There is the next webinar upcoming on the 13th of April. You can already register. Please have a look at the LinkedIn. We have the forum, the open group, and the page. We will soon be publishing a newsletter with all our latest and upcoming activities, so this can be a good chance to be updated. And also there's a feedback form. We would like to hear from you, also to learn for the next webinars. So that's, I think, all from my side.
Yes, thanks a lot, Agnieszka. When I presented the FertiCovery Consortium, I forgot to mention Greenovate, but thank you, and Natalie for the organization of this of the event, Francisco for the contributions and the Mentimeter, and well, let's see each other soon again. And thanks a lot indeed for all your participation. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, goodbye.
Thank you so
Thank you very
much.
much.
Goodbye.
Bye.